All right, guys. Sorry about that, man. I had to go to work earlier today. Wasn't really able to get to watching the fight like I wanted to. I saw bits and pieces of it, but I'd rather sit down, watch the whole thing, analyze. So basically, what I did, man, was I watched the replay after the fight was over, watched everything all over again, and it was a good fight. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining all the way through. Both guys brought what they pretty much said they were gonna, what they said they were gonna bring. I thought that Errol Spence followed his game plan well. He did what he always does. Kell Brook, on the other hand, I wasn't really feeling I wasn't feeling his approach to the fight. I felt that he should have fought the fight on the outside. I thought that he would be utilizing the jab a lot more, and he did not utilize the jab as much as he should have to keep Errol Spence off of him. His main concern was to clinch, tie up. He was trying to wear Errol Spence down is what he was trying to do. And he should have been concentrating a little bit more on his footwork, which he knew Errol Spence was going to cut off the ring and he was going to come after him. So he knew he would have to, if he was going to utilize footwork, he knew he was going to have to be in top condition and be ready to bring that to the he knew he would have to bring that to the table the whole night. And it was going to be extremely tough for him condition-wise to keep moving and ducking and slipping and moving and ducking and slipping and trying to block punches all in the same breath. So he ended up trying to take the fight to Errol Spence, which was a big mistake for him, man, because you're standing right in front of this guy. And when you stand right in front of him, he's able to time you a lot better. He's able to pick his punches. He's able to plan his attack a lot better, and you can't give a young fighter like him that's poised, that's determined to get the job done, enough time to figure that out. You have to confuse a young fighter like that and mix up your attack, going in and out, top to bottom, bottom to top, keeping the jab in his face all night, roughing him up a little bit like he tried to do. Like, you have to do a little bit of all of it, and he wasn't able to do all of it. His main concern was to tie up, and I got to give credit to the UK, man, because I like to watch their boxing matches because they're a lot more lenient towards roughing up fighters and allowing guys to tie up and grabbing the back of the heads and doing all of that kind of stuff. It's a little bit more raw. That's what you would see in sparring sessions, but. Anyway, man, much props to Errol Spence. Congratulations to him and his team for what they did, for how they had him prepared and ready. It was a good fight, man. One through four. It was a fast-paced fight. I thought it was a little bit too fast for Kell Brook, and I didn't think he was going to really be able to keep up and sustain the pace. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it, but he stuck it out for about, I would say, to about the 6th or the 7th round. And you could see where he was coming on, and he was trying to come on strong, and he looked like he was ready to try to get back into the fight. But Errol Spence just kept coming. And like I said, you can't allow this guy who is poised like that and who's determined, who has youth on his side, who can keep coming at you. You can't allow him to do that. You have to have a second and third game plan in place for moments like that. And Errol Spence showed moments where he was tired, and that's where Kell Brook should have capitalized. He capitalized in 2 rounds, I think, between the 7th and the 8th round, where he had Errol Spence, out of breath a little bit, or maybe Errol was just out of breath on his own, but he was kind of tired and he was limiting himself to maybe 1 or 2 punches versus all of the punches he was throwing before. He was throwing maybe 4 or 5 punch combinations. He was going to the head, to the body. He was throwing his left hook and his right hook, and he was throwing uppercuts and he was throwing hooks back down to the body. I mean, he was really putting together a precise attack against Kell Brook. and Kell couldn't stem it off. He couldn't keep this guy off of him, and it was really, really tough for him. And he had some good moments in there where when he did allow his hands to be let go, he was stringing together pretty good, crisp combinations where you could actually see him landing and doing a little bit of damage to Errol. And you could see Errol thinking, well, dang, I got to do something to get back into the fight. I got to throw something, you know, to let the judges know, or let the judges see that I'm not out of this thing. So you could see him hurrying up and trying to get back into the face of Kell Brook. And it ended up being a sloppy tie-up, and those guys ended up being on the ring ropes and just kind of laying on each other for a brief moment there. But when that would happen and they were tied up, you could see Errol Spence digging into his body, and Kell trying to keep him off of him, trying to clinch. He had his arm like this for the majority of the fight, just always trying to do that. But he wasn't really coming back with anything. He wasn't hitting him the way that he should have. He was coming over the top a little bit with some of his hooks, and then he was going down the pipe with the straight right. And he had moments where he could land his left hook and things like that. But it just wasn't enough to keep Errol Spence off of him, man. Errol Spence, man, and you guys have been hearing this for over a year now, maybe 2 years, that this guy is the truth. He is coming to take over boxing, man, and it's nothing that anybody can do about it unless these guys are in top shape, unless they have a great arsenal in mind that they're going to utilize against this kid to stop him. The only thing that they could do right now to stop Errol Spence, man, is to hope that he gets old fast. You know, and I know that sounds stupid, man, but it's true. They got to hope that he gets old or bored in the ring, and he's not as dedicated to the craft anymore. He's not focused. He's not driven to be champ anymore. They maybe gotta hope that success goes to his head, and once again, he's just not focused on boxing or something like that in order for this guy to get in the ring and get beat down. Right now, we all know that Kell Brook took on Triple G, and Triple G did some damage to his eye socket. So you saw Errol Spence going after that eye for the majority of the fight. His jab was precise. It was landing pretty much all night. He was on point with it, and he was landing some flush shots up top, man, flush shots to the body. So, I mean, much credit to this dude, man. I'm at my 8-minute mark, so I don't want to spend too much time. But once again, man, this guy, you guys know that this guy is the truth. You saw it for yourself. There's no more excuses. There's no more saying, who has he fought? You know, he hasn't fought anybody. And you could easily try to come back with well, Triple G softened him up first, and that's why Errol Spence had success. No, Kell Brook was in there to try to do damage to Errol Spence. But Errol Spence was too tough, too young, too fast, too strong, and too smart. And that's how he came out with the victory tonight, man. He stuck with his game plan, and he dug in, and he got the victory. You know, I thought that it would be a unanimous decision. He probably would have won 4 rounds, about 4 rounds anyway. So maybe more. But he finished it up. He got the job done. He got the belt. He was bringing it back to the U.S. And we're going to celebrate this guy, man, because we've been talking about him for a long time. When I say we, I'm talking about fans of boxing, not casual fans that don't really understand the difference between what a true boxer is, what a fighter is, and what an athlete is in the ring, a brawler. You guys got to know the differences. You know, it's not just about picking these guys just because the media is running with these guys. You got to know a boxer when you see one, and this guy is a true boxer. But anyway, I don't want to go into this anymore. We can talk about it a little later, man. Next is going to be Canelo and Triple G. Peace.